And we're all set.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Kristen Proud, the Vice Chair of New York Creates. I would like to welcome everyone to the meeting. This meeting is being held via WebEx as authorized by Chapter 56 of the laws of 2022. A webcast is available for members of the public to listen to this meeting, and we welcome those who are listening to the meeting via webcast today. I will now do a roll call of the participants in today's meeting, beginning with the directors. Michael Abbott,
Present.
Anita Brown,
Present.
Heather Hage,
Present.
Doreen Harris,
Present.
Dr. Mengling Chow,
Present.
Joan McDonald, and Ken Tompkins.
Present.
Thank you. I'd also like to recognize the member representatives who joined us today. We have Emily Conchala representing the Research Foundation of the State University of New York, and Michael Frame representing the SUNY Polytechnic Institute Foundation. I will now do a roll call of the officers who are participating with us in today's meeting, beginning with David Anderson,
Present.
Patricia Arserio Craig,
Present.
Paul Kelly,
Present.
Scott Bateman,
Present.
Timothy Taylor,
Present.
and Pat Buckland.
Present.
Great, thank you for joining. At this time, I would like to ask everyone to mute their phones when they are not speaking in order to minimize any background noise, and also remind you to please identify yourself when speaking and when making a motion. For purposes of voting this morning, we will call out each director's name for his or her vote so that we can accurately record it. At this point, I would like to ask if anyone has a conflict of interest with respect to any items on today's agenda. And if so, please make an appropriate disclosure on the record now, and then recuse yourself from any discussion or vote with regard to that item when we come to it on the agenda. Okay. Hearing no potential conflicts of interest, we will move to the approval of minutes. I would like to have a motion to approve the minutes of the New York Creates Board meeting, which was held on May 31, 2022.
Moved, Ken.
Thank you, Ken. Is there a second?
This is Mike. I second.
Thank you, Mike. Are there any corrections or modifications that anyone would like to offer to the minutes from the May 31st meeting? Hearing none, we'll move to the vote, beginning with Michael Abbott,
Aye.
Anita Brown,
Aye.
Heather Hage.
Aye.
Doreen Harris,
Aye.
Dr. Mengling Chow,
Aye. Aye.
Joan McDonald, Ken Tompkins,
Aye.
and I would also like to be recorded in the affirmative. The minutes are approved. At this time, I would like to introduce and turn the meeting over to Michael Abbott as Chair of the Audit Committee to present the Audit Committee's report.
Thank you, Chair. Before you have information regarding approval of insurance renewals, I'd like to ask for a motion to consider and adopt a resolution approving the insurance renewals for New York Creates, Fuller Road Management Corporation, and Port Schuyler Management Corporation.
So moved by Mengling Chow.
Thank you, Mengling. Could I have a second, please?
Second, Anita Brown.
Thank you, Anita. By way of background, New York Creates, Fuller Road Management Corporation, and Port Schuyler Management Corporation seek to renew their various lines of insurance coverage for the period commencing on July 1, 2022. New York Creates insurance broker, Amsure, conducted a competitive outreach process and prepared a proposed renewal package. Amsure is an independent risk management and insurance advisory firm that represents over 20 different insurance carriers. A summary of the proposed program is in the materials provided to the Board of Directors in advance of the meeting. As noted in the attached summaries, the aggregate premium cost for New York Creates, FRMC, and FSMC will decrease by approximately $3,145 for the 22-23 policy period when compared to the expiring policy terms. The lower premium costs that were incurred by the three organizations are direct results of the organization's improving claim experience and commitment to transfer the risk of claims to unaffiliated third parties. The decrease compares favorably to the average increases of 10 to 15% being levied by the overall insurance market. These efforts helped offset overall industry rate increases that are driven by a few factors, including, but not limited to, increase in the number of third-party lawsuits and the associated settlement amounts, increases in construction materials and labor costs, and an overall hardening insurance marketplace. The audit committee approved the resolution described in the memorandum provided to the board in advance of the meeting, including recommending that the board approve the same actions. The requested action is approve resolutions for New York Creates, FRMC, and FSMC. One, authorizing and approving the insurance renewals as described in the summary. And two, approving and authorizing the president, treasurer, and chief financial officer, each of them without the other, on behalf of the corporation, to execute, acknowledge, and deliver the aforesaid insurance renewals with such changes, variations, omissions, and insertions as the officer of the corporation signing the same shall approve, the execution thereof by such officer to constitute conclusive evidence of such approval, and to take such actions as are necessary or appropriate to implement and carry out the purposes and intent of this resolution, including without limitation the execution, acknowledgement, and delivery of other documents and agreements. Is there any discussion? Okay. Hearing none, I will ask for each director for their vote on the motion. Anita?
Aye.
Heather?
Oops. Aye.
Doreen?
Aye.
Dr. Mengling?
Aye.
Joan?
Aye.
Kristen?
Aye.
Ken?
Aye.
I also would like to be recorded in the affirmative. The ayes have it and the motion is adopted. Thank you. At this point, I'd like to turn it back over to the chair.
Thank you, Michael, for the audit committee report this morning. At this time, I will present the finance committee report, beginning with FSMC resolution number 204, which is an environmental services agreement at Riverbend. I'd ask for a motion to consider and adopt resolution number 204, authorizing an environmental services agreement.
Moved, Ken.
Thank you, Ken. A second, please.
This is Joan, second.
Thank you, Joan. By way of background, Fort Schuyler Management Corporation issued a request for proposals for environmental services at the Riverbend site, including operations, maintenance, and monitoring services, consisting of groundwater monitoring, inspection of wells, maintenance and cleaning of pumps, inspection of the groundwater flushing system, and similar services. These services are based on requirements for monitoring and maintenance of the site in accordance with the New York State Department of Environmental Conservation mandates, as well as with the site management plan. Following a competitive procurement and in compliance with the corporation's procurement policy guidelines, FSMC issued a tentative award to Benchmark Civil Engineering and Geology, PLLC, known as Benchmark, and now seeks a board approval of the award and authorization to enter into a 5-year agreement with Benchmark that will run until 2027. Under the terms of this agreement, FSMC will be required to pay first through 5th year annual rates of $102,850, $105,936, $109,115, $112,389, and $115,761, respectively, plus hourly rates for any necessary repairs to equipment and property. The Finance Committee approved a resolution 1, approving the award to Benchmark and authorizing the corporation to enter into an agreement with Benchmark for environmental services at the Riverbend site on the terms stated in the memorandum provided to the committee in advance of the meeting. 2, approving and authorizing the president, treasurer, and chief financial officer, each of them without the other, on behalf of the corporation, to execute, acknowledge, and deliver the aforesaid agreement with such changes, variations, omissions, and insertions as the officer of the corporation signing the same shall approve. the execution thereof by such officer to constitute conclusive evidence of such approval, and to take such actions as are necessary or appropriate to implement and carry out the purposes and intents of the resolution, including without limitation the execution, acknowledgement, and delivery of other documents and agreements. And the Finance Committee recommends that the board approve these same actions today. So the requested action is approval of FSMC Resolution Number 204. Are there any questions or comments regarding this resolution for the Environmental Services Agreement? Hearing none, we'll move to the vote, beginning with Michael Abbott, please.
Aye.
Anita Brown,
Aye.
Heather Hage.
Aye.
Doreen Harris,
Aye.
Dr. Mengling Xiao,
Aye.
Joan McDonald,
Aye.
Ken Tompkins,
Aye.
and I would also like to be recorded in the affirmative, please. So the ayes have it, and the resolution number 204 is adopted. The next item on the agenda from the Finance Committee is a lease with Glauconics Biosciences, Inc. At this time, I would ask for a motion to consider and adopt a lease with Glauconics Biosciences, Inc.
Moved, Heather.
Thank you, Heather. Is there a second, please?
Second, Doreen. Thank you.
Thanks, Doreen. So Glauconics Biosciences is a specialty pharma research company. It has leased 346 square feet of lab space in the C-STEM building since 2014. The lease expired on March 31st of this year, and the tenant has been in holdover status since then. The tenant also has a license to use space in an office in the NanoFab South building, which expires tomorrow. The tenant now seeks to relocate to new office and lab space within C-STEM. Glauconics will lease 310 square feet of office space and 742 square feet of lab space in C-STEM for a term expiring on June 30th, 2025. It will pay $23 per square foot for the office space and $29.64 cents per square foot for the lab space. The rent includes operating expenses and utilities, and the tenant will pay for parking in addition. Rent for the office space will commence immediately, and rent for the lab space will commence on the earlier of July 1, 2022, or the date that the fit up of the lab space is complete. The tenant will have the option to extend the lease for 2 additional 24-month terms. Rent during the renewal period would be $23.46 per square foot for the office space and $30.23 per square foot for the lab space. FRMC will provide a total of $7,000 for fit up of the premises. The Finance Committee approved the resolution described in the memorandum that was given to you in advance of this meeting and made the recommendation that the board approve these same actions. So the requested action is to approve a resolution, 1, approving and authorizing the corporation to enter into a lease with Glauconics on the terms stated in the memorandum provided to the board in advance of this meeting, and 2, approving and authorizing the president, treasurer, and chief financial officer, each of them without the other, on behalf of the corporation, to execute, acknowledge, and deliver the aforesaid lease with such changes, variations, omissions, and insertions as the officer of the corporation signing same shall approve, the execution thereof by such officer to constitute conclusive evidence of such approval, and to take such actions as are necessary or appropriate to implement and carry out the purposes and intent of this resolution, including without limitation the execution, acknowledgement, and delivery of other documents and agreements. Are there any questions or comments regarding this lease with Glauconics? Okay, hearing none, we'll move to the vote, beginning with Michael Abbott.
Aye.
Anita Brown,
Aye.
Heather Hage,
Aye.
Doreen Harris,
Aye.
Dr. Mengling Xiao,
Aye.
Joan McDonald,
Aye.
Ken Tompkins,
Aye.
and I would also like to be recorded in the affirmative. So the ayes have it, and the resolution to approve the lease agreement is adopted. The last item from the Finance Committee is a lease amendment with TEL Technology Center America LLC. Is there a motion to consider and adopt a lease with TEL Technology Center?
So moved by
Move.
Mengling Xiao.
Thank you, Mingling. A second?
Ken, second.
Thank you, Ken. TEL seeks to lease approximately 181 square feet of additional space in C-STEM and 391 square feet of storage space in NFS, as well as 491 square feet of lab space in NFS. The term of the lease for the new space will begin on execution of the lease amendment, and it will run for 1 year for the C-STEM office space and concurrently with the term of the current lease, which extends to November 13, 2025 for both the NFS storage and lab spaces, with an option to extend for 2 additional 24-month terms. The rent for the C-STEM office space will be $400 per month, and the rent for the NFS space will be the same as that charged for the existing leased premises, which is presently $35.54 per square foot for office space and storage space, and $90.60 per square feet for the lab space. The rent includes operating expenses and utilities, and for the NFS space will increase by 3% annually during the term of the lease and during any renewal term. The Finance Committee reviewed and approved the resolution described in the memorandum provided to this board in advance of the meeting, and the Finance Committee recommends that the board approve these same actions. So the requested action is approval of a resolution 1, approving and authorizing the corporation to enter into a lease amendment with TEL on the terms stated in the memorandum provided to you in advance of this meeting. And 2, approving and authorizing the president, treasurer, and chief financial officer, each of them without the other, on behalf of the corporation, to execute, acknowledge, and deliver the aforesaid lease amendment with such changes, variations, omissions, and insertions as the officer of the corporation signing the same shall approve. The execution thereof by such officer to constitute conclusive evidence of such approval, and to take such actions as are necessary or appropriate to implement and carry out the purposes and intents of this resolution, including without limitation, the execution, acknowledgement, and delivery of any other documents and agreements. Are there any questions or comments related to this lease amendment? Okay, hearing none, we'll move to the vote, beginning with Michael Abbott,
Aye.
Anita Brown,
Aye.
Heather Hage.
Aye.
Doreen Harris,
Aye.
Dr. Mengling Shao,
Aye.
Joan McDonald,
Aye.
Ken Tompkins,
Aye.
and I would also like to be recorded in the affirmative. The ayes have it, and the motion is adopted. At this time, I would like to ask the board members if there is any new business they would like to bring forward. Hearing none, we'll move to the public comment portion of the meeting. Given the change in meeting logistics due to the ongoing public health concerns, we notified the public of the opportunity to send in comments via email prior to this meeting. At this time, we have not received any comments. The schedule for the next meeting is to be determined, and once we have a date established, it will be posted on the website. Is there any further business by any of the members this morning? Okay. Hearing none, I would like to have a motion to adjourn, please.
So move, Anita.
Thank you, Anita. A second?
Second, Doreen.
Thank you, Doreen. All in favor? Aye.
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 Okay. Thank you, everyone, very much for your time this morning. I hope you have a safe and enjoyable 4th of July as we celebrate our nation's independence.
Thank you.
You
Take
too.
care.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye now.
Aye.